She packed her belongings, emailed her professors about a family emergency, and drove into the night. Hours later, her car was found abandoned on a desolate road in New Hampshire, but Maura Murray had vanished without a trace. What happened on that cold February night remains one of the most chilling mysteries of our time. Background and early life. Maura Murray was born on May 4, 1982, in Hanson, Massachusetts. The fourth of 5 children in the Murray family, Maura grew up in a disciplined environment that emphasized academic achievement and athleticism. Her parents, Fred and Lori Murray, instilled in their children the importance of hard work and dedication. She stood out early on as a bright and determined student, excelling in both academics and sports. At Whitman-Hanson Regional High School, Maura became a star athlete, particularly in track and field. Her commitment to running and her competitive spirit earned her accolades and the admiration of her peers. In 2000, Maura's hard work paid off when she was accepted into the United States Military Academy at West Point, a prestigious institution known for its rigorous academic and physical demands. Her time at West Point, however, was short-lived. After 3 semesters, she chose to leave the academy following an incident involving a theft charge. Rather than face disciplinary action, Maura transferred to the University of Massachusetts Amherst to pursue a degree in nursing. At UMass, she continued to excel academically, working part-time as a security guard on campus to support herself. Despite her successes, those close to Maura began to notice signs of stress and anxiety in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Friends and family described her as increasingly withdrawn, though the reasons for her distress were unclear. This shift in behavior set the stage for the events that would unfold in early February 2004, leading to one of the most perplexing missing person cases in recent history: the weekend before disappearance. On Saturday, February 7, 2004, Maura Murray borrowed her father's Toyota Corolla to run errands and visit car dealerships with him in Amherst. She was considering purchasing a new car, and Fred Murray had come to town to help her with the process. The two spent the day together, visiting dealerships and discussing potential purchases. That evening, Maura attended a party on campus, where students socialized and drank. As she drove back to her father's hotel early the next morning, Maura was involved in a car accident on Route 9. The accident occurred when she lost control of the car and struck a guardrail, causing significant damage to the front end. The repair costs were estimated to be around $10,000. Although she was not injured in the crash, the incident left her visibly shaken. The following day, February 8th, Maura spent time with her father discussing the accident. Fred rented a car to return home, instructing her to obtain the accident report from the local police station. Before leaving, Fred and Maura shared a brief phone conversation during which she apologized for the accident. This would be the last time they spoke. Maura returned to her dorm room that evening, where she began making preparations for a trip. She conducted several online searches for directions to various locations in Vermont and New Hampshire. Additionally, she made inquiries about renting a condominium in Bartlett, New Hampshire. These actions indicated that Maura was planning to leave Amherst, though she did not inform anyone of her intentions. February 9, 2004, the day of disappearance. On the morning of Monday, February 9, 2004, Maura Murray made the final preparations for her departure. She sent an email to her nursing school professors, claiming that she would be absent from classes for the next week due to a death in the family. This was a fabrication, as no such death had occurred. After sending the email, Maura packed her belongings into her black 1996 Saturn sedan. At around 1 p.m., she withdrew $280 from an ATM in Amherst. She then stopped at a local liquor store where she purchased a selection of alcohol, including a box of Francia wine. These purchases suggested that Maura was preparing for a longer trip, although her exact destination remained unclear. By approximately 4:30 p.m., Maura had left the UMass Amherst campus heading north. Her actions indicated that she was planning to travel to the White Mountains in New Hampshire, a region she was familiar with from previous family vacations. During the drive, Maura made a few phone calls. including one at 4:37 p.m. to the owner of a condominium in Bartlett, New Hampshire, and another at 4:49 p.m. to check her voicemail. As evening fell, Maura continued her journey along Route 112, a rural road known for its challenging terrain, particularly in winter conditions. The weather that night was cold, with temperatures below freezing and snow on the ground. At approximately 7:25 p.m., her car went off the road near Woodsville, New Hampshire. Her car struck a snowbank, causing damage to the front end and deploying the airbags. The vehicle was left facing the wrong direction on the road, with its hazard lights on. The aftermath of the crash. Following the crash on Route 112, the first person to encounter Maura Murray's car was Butch Atwood, a local school bus driver. At around 7:30 p.m., Atwood was returning home after completing his evening route when he noticed Maura's black Saturn sedan positioned awkwardly on the side of the road, partially lodged in a snowbank and facing the wrong direction. The car's hazard lights were flashing and its front end showed visible damage from the impact. Concerned about the unusual sight, Atwood decided to stop and offer assistance. Atwood approached the vehicle and saw a young woman, later identified as Maura Murray, standing outside the car. According to his account, she appeared to be uninjured but visibly distressed and shaken by the accident. Atwood, who had experience dealing with accidents and emergencies due to his job, asked Maura if she needed help or wanted to use his phone to call for a tow truck. She declined his offer, insisting that she had already called AAA for assistance, a claim that would later be proven false, as no record of such a call was found. Atwood found Maura's behavior odd. Despite the cold weather and her apparent distress, she was reluctant to accept help and seemed eager to remain alone. After this brief interaction, Atwood drove the short distance to his nearby home, which was within sight of the crash site. From his kitchen window, he kept an eye on the scene, expecting to see a tow truck or police arrive shortly. However, as the minutes passed with no sign of assistance, Atwood's concern grew. He noted that the car remained stationary, with its lights still flashing, and Maura was no longer visible. At 7:43 p.m., about 15 minutes after his initial encounter with Maura, Atwood decided to call 911 and report the accident. He described the situation to the dispatcher, noting the young woman's odd behavior and the precarious position of the vehicle. He expressed his concern that something was not right as no help had arrived and the car was still in a dangerous spot on the road. 3 minutes after Atwood's call, Officer Cecil Smith of the Haverhill Police Department arrived at the scene. Upon inspection, Smith found the car locked and abandoned, with no sign of Maura anywhere nearby. The vehicle's interior contained several personal items, including her textbooks, a map of the White Mountains, and a box of wine that had spilled inside the car. Notably, the car keys, wallet, and cell phone were missing, suggesting that Maura had taken them with her when she left the scene. Smith conducted a quick search of the immediate area, but there were no footprints in the snow leading away from the vehicle, deepening the mystery of Maura's whereabouts. As the night wore on, temperatures continued to drop and the darkness made it difficult to conduct a thorough search. Despite the growing urgency, no trace of Maura was found that evening. The initial search efforts. The morning after Maura Murray's car was found abandoned on Route 112, a coordinated search effort began. Local law enforcement, assisted by New Hampshire Fish and Game officers, volunteers, and K-9 units, scoured the area surrounding the crash site. The search was hampered by challenging conditions. Snow covered much of the ground and temperatures were frigid, complicating efforts to find any trace of Maura. K-9 units were brought in to track Maura's scent. The dogs initially picked up a trail leading away from the car, but the scent was lost a short distance down the road. This sudden end to the trail led investigators to believe that Maura may have been picked up by a passing vehicle, although no witnesses came forward to support this theory. In addition to ground searches, law enforcement expanded their efforts to include nearby homes and cabins, questioning residents and asking for any information that might lead to Maura. Helicopters equipped with infrared cameras were deployed to scan the dense woods and remote areas surrounding the crash site, searching for any signs of life or body heat that could indicate Maura's whereabouts. Despite these efforts, no clues were found that could explain her sudden disappearance. On February 11th, Fred Murray arrived in Haverhill to assist with the search for his daughter. Frustrated with the perceived lack of progress, Fred began organizing his own search efforts, enlisting the help of friends, family, and volunteers. The search officially scaled back after several days, but Fred's determination to find Maura remained strong. The search efforts evolved to include more specialized techniques. Dive teams were brought in to search nearby bodies of water, while forensic experts combed through Maura's personal belongings and electronic devices for any overlooked clues. Missing person flyers were distributed widely, and a dedicated tip line was established to encourage the public to come forward with any information, no matter how insignificant it might seem. Despite these extensive and varied efforts, the search failed to uncover any definitive evidence of Maura's whereabouts, deepening the mystery surrounding her disappearance. The case quickly gained national attention, as the lack of evidence and the mysterious circumstances of Maura's disappearance captivated the public's interest. Theories and speculation begin. As days turned into weeks with no sign of Maura Murray, various theories and speculations about her disappearance began to circulate. One of the earliest and most discussed theories was that she had chosen to disappear voluntarily. Supporters of this theory pointed to her actions leading up to the disappearance, packing her belongings, withdrawing cash, and purchasing alcohol, as evidence that she may have been planning to start a new life. The email she sent to her professors, citing a false family emergency, further fueled speculation that she was intentionally distancing herself from her current life. Another theory emerged suggesting that Maura may have met with foul play after leaving the scene of the crash. The fact that her scent trail abruptly ended in the middle of the road led some to believe that she had been picked up by a passing motorist who may have had sinister intentions. However, the lack of witnesses or credible leads made this theory difficult to substantiate. A third theory posited that Maura may have experienced a mental health crisis, causing her to wander into the woods, where she ultimately succumbed to the elements. This theory was bolstered by reports of Maura's recent personal struggles, including the car accident and academic pressures. Despite the plausibility of this theory, no physical evidence was found to support it. Theories also emerged linking her disappearance to other unsolved cases in the region. Some speculated about the possibility of a serial offender operating in the area, though no concrete evidence connected Maura's case to any others. As the search continued, the lack of definitive answers only deepened the mystery, drawing the attention of true crime enthusiasts and amateur sleuths. Media involvement and public interest. The disappearance of Maura Murray quickly attracted significant media attention, transforming the case from a local concern to a national mystery. In the weeks following her disappearance, news outlets across the country began reporting on the case, bringing it to the forefront of public consciousness. The media's involvement played a crucial role in keeping Maura's story alive, as coverage continued to generate tips and leads, although none resulted in a breakthrough. Fred Murray, Maura's father, took an active role in engaging with the media. Determined to find his daughter, Fred appeared on several national television programs, including The Montel Williams Show and Dateline NBC, where he discussed the details of the case and urged the public to come forward with any information. Fred's relentless advocacy kept Maura's disappearance in the public eye, and his emotional pleas resonated with viewers across the country. In addition to traditional media, the case gained a substantial following online. Websites, forums, and social media groups dedicated to discussing Maura's disappearance began to emerge, with amateur sleuths analyzing every detail of the case. These online communities became hubs for speculation, with users sharing theories, potential leads, and personal insights. The digital age allowed the case to reach an even broader audience, keeping the mystery alive years after Maura's disappearance. The intense media scrutiny and public interest, however, also led to the spread of misinformation and rumors. As theories proliferated, it became increasingly difficult to separate fact from fiction. Despite the widespread coverage, the case remained unsolved, leaving Maura's family and the public searching for answers. New leads and investigative developments. Over the years, the search for Maura Murray has seen several investigative developments, although none have led to a conclusive answer. One of the more significant developments occurred in 2006 when Fred Murray filed a lawsuit against the New Hampshire State Police, seeking access to all records related to Maura's case. Fred believed that law enforcement was withholding crucial information that could aid in the search for his daughter. However, the court ultimately ruled against him, citing the need to protect the integrity of the ongoing investigation. Throughout the years, numerous reported sightings of Maura have been investigated, though none have been confirmed. One particularly compelling lead came from a witness in Vermont who claimed to have seen a young woman matching Maura's description at a convenience store shortly after her disappearance. Despite initial hopes, this lead, like many others, failed to yield any concrete evidence. In 2016, the Oxygen Network aired a documentary series titled The Disappearance of Maura Murray, which brought renewed attention to the case. The series explored various theories, re-examined key evidence, and interviewed individuals connected to the investigation. While the series did not uncover new evidence, it did raise public awareness and prompted new discussions about the case. In 2018, cadaver dogs alerted to a potential location near a house in Woodsville, close to where Maura's car had been found. The area was excavated, but no human remains were discovered. Despite this setback, the event reignited interest in the case, and investigators continued to explore every possible lead. While these developments have kept the case active, Maura Murray's disappearance remains unsolved, leaving her family and the public with more questions than answers. Family's ongoing efforts. The Murray family, especially her father Fred, has never stopped searching for answers. Since the day Maura disappeared, Fred has been relentless in his efforts to uncover the truth. Frustrated by what he perceived as a lack of urgency from law enforcement, Fred took matters into his own hands, organizing private searches and hiring private investigators to explore leads he felt were not being adequately pursued. Fred's determination led him to the media, where he consistently worked to keep Maura's story in the public eye. His appearances on national television and his engagement with various media outlets ensured that the case remained relevant, even as years passed without resolution. Fred's advocacy extended beyond traditional media. He also participated in online forums and engaged with the true crime community, hoping to generate new leads. The family's efforts have not been without challenges. The intense public interest in the case has led to a proliferation of theories, some of which have caused additional distress to the Murray family. Despite the spread of misinformation and the difficulties in navigating the media landscape, Fred has remained focused on finding his daughter. In addition to media engagement, Fred and other family members have continued to organize search efforts, often returning to the areas around Woodsville where Maura was last seen. The family's commitment to uncovering the truth has kept the investigation active, with law enforcement periodically revisiting the case in light of new information. Although the search for Maura has yet to yield definitive answers, the Murray family's resolve remains unshaken. They continue to hold out hope that one day, the truth about her disappearance will be uncovered. The Unresolved Mystery. As of today, Maura Murray's disappearance remains one of the most perplexing unsolved cases in modern history. Despite extensive searches, numerous theories, and ongoing investigations, the truth about what happened on that cold February night in 2004 continues to elude everyone involved. The case has captivated the public's imagination, in part because of the many unanswered questions it raises. Why did Maura abruptly leave Amherst without telling anyone? What was her intended destination? Did she plan to disappear, or did she encounter someone who caused her harm? These questions, combined with the eerie lack of physical evidence, have made Maura's case a focus for both professional investigators and amateur sleuths alike. In recent years, advancements in forensic technology and investigative techniques have provided some hope that the case might one day be solved. Re-examinations of evidence using more sophisticated methods have the potential to uncover new clues that were previously overlooked. However, as of now, these advancements have not brought any new answers. Fred Murray and the rest of her family continue to search for closure, unwilling to let the mystery of Maura's disappearance fade into obscurity. Their efforts, along with the ongoing interest from the public and media, ensure that the case remains active even as the years continue to pass. The disappearance of Maura Murray endures as a haunting mystery, a case that refuses to be forgotten. While the truth remains elusive, the hope persists that one day the answers will come to light, bringing closure to a family that has waited far too long for the truth.